Don't forget the doc. Several network participants recently called into Dr. Rick Wright's Old School Sundays radio show. Check this out.
And right now I have a superstar brother, Professor Donald Singletary, New York City public relations genius. Doing a lot in Harlem, and he knows New York City upside down, the right side, the wrong side, and all the sides of New York City. Donald, how you doing this afternoon, man?
Okay, Rick Wright, good to be here to help welcome in African American History Month. And to kick that off, I know every dime I paid you to say that was worthwhile. Thank you very much.
I'll tell you what, man, no money. You don't have to worry about it. Mean everything I just said, Donald. Donald Singletary, ladies and gentlemen, is a public relations genius. Got his own public relations firm in New York City, and he represents a lot of dynamite clients. Also a professor in universities in the city of New York. And Donald does a lot in Harlem to uplift our people, and Donald's going to be on air with me regularly here at Old School Sunday, Clear Channel Radio throughout the entire world. And Donald, give us a report, man, on New York City and African American history, man. Our folk need to be educated to their legacy.
Absolutely, quite a few things. You know, Rick, I'm involved with the 369th Regiment Historical Society. I know you've spoken to your many fans about this. The brigade started in World War I, all segregated unit, and the Americans wouldn't fight with them, so the French Army did, and they racked up more commendations than any other unit in the war. And their armory is located in Harlem, right on 142nd Street and 5th Avenue. Always been an active regiment. They've served in every conflict since World War I, and civilian activities such as Hurricane Katrina, September 11th, etc. We're going to honor them. Guess when? Of course, March 6th. That's 369 for 03069. They put 369 at a 3-hour tribute at the Armory from 3 p.m. until 6. And all the major state city officials have been invited, including Representative Charles Rangel, himself a member of the 369th Veterans Association, and a special appearance by our new commander, the first ever female commander of the 369th Brigade, Colonel Stephanie Dawson. And Rick, she'll be calling in with you very soon, too. I want you to, in another week, have a segment with her. Very excellent place, and we're going to have an event that if you're in Harlem and all you either got kin or friends or some interest in Harlem from wherever you are, drop by at 3 p.m. That's on March 6th. Just remember 369-03-0609 at 3 p.m. And, Rick, we talk about the power of local radio. Local college radio station, WHCR, CCNY, and Harlem's own CCNY, they're going to simulcast that event live for us. Isn't that wonderful use of college radio?
Oh, that's a fantastic use, and we got to get ready to use radio right. I tell you, I'm looking forward to big changes in how we handle radio here in America, allowing this instrument of power and communication to get back to more localism. And I think the great administration of President Obama is going to be looking at this situation, man, because local radio and radio's ability to localize is its greatest attribute. And we got to get back to really using this medium right. And that's what I try to do every Sunday here at Power 106.9 Radio, and having wonderful folk on air like you, Donald. Hey, Donald, the brother musician, World War II.
Oh, yes. You know, we had James Reese Europe, who actually, he and a brother named Noble Sissel, who went on to become a very famous Broadway show producer, writer, and composer. They actually brought Europe jazz to the continent of Europe. And the significance of that, as you know, is jazz. Europe played such a huge role in the development of jazz. When jazz musicians weren't getting their props over here, many went over to Europe and became very successful, where they were accepted for their art in spite of their color. I might add something. 3 weeks ago, Rick, on a very cold, snowy, windy afternoon here, Harlem citizens and civic leaders and musicians and fans from around the world came to Abyssinian Baptist Church to pay tribute to Freddie Hubbard, man, a jazz great, who passed away December 29th. And Reverend Butts was presiding, and the event had many tributes, but mostly his fellow musicians held about a 3-hour jazz concert, man, opening with the likes of McCoy Tyner. So just a very, very great send-off to a great man. And there's another event where, college radio stations could have got in there and, taped that live. What that would have meant to a community to be in an event like that, to honor someone like Freddie Hubbard.
Oh, Donald, you are giving us some dynamite information. Hey, by the way, Noble Sissel hung out with a person that I met before he died. Met him in Baltimore, Maryland. U.B. Blake.
Yes.
U.B. Blake and Noble Sissel. You know, U.B. Blake and Noble Sissel did the first sound motion picture.
They absolutely did.
In fact, everybody always talks about Al Jolson being the first person to do a motion picture with sound, a jazz singer.
Right.
But it was Noble Sissel and U.B. Blake.
You're absolutely right.
In fact, they were testing the system out, and they had them to perform in front of the microphones, in front of the cameras, Warner Brothers, Vitaphone. So everybody to know that in African-American History Month, two great African-American musicians, Noble Sissel and U.B. Blake, were really the first people ever to appear on a sound motion picture film. Isn't that incredible, man?
That's incredible. To see the power of music, how much more our culture has done with music and how much more it's meant to us as a culture when we can still come out on a snowy Saturday afternoon to pay tribute to a jazz great at a fabulously famous church in Harlem.
Oh, Freddie
And how
Hubbard.
all these things just resonate with all of us.
Well, the Church of Reverend Adam Clayton Powell.
That's right.
Incredible. Abyssinia Baptist Church. Well, Donald, I tell you, man, it's really nice hearing from you.
Well, I'll be getting back at you, and again, we'll talk shortly, and any folks in New York on March 6th, come on down and see us. We'll feed you. It's all free. And by the way, we're developing a very comprehensive black military museum, and we've got so much stuff in the Armory. We're still categorizing stuff. So, and Rick, we want you to come down one day, too. We'll give you an honor guard for the Harlem Youth Marines, who are part of the contingent at the 369. All young people, started by young people in Harlem.
Okay, Donald Singletary, love you.
Love you, my buddy. Take care. And everybody, all my good friends out there, have a great Black History Month and a great day. Take care.
Okay, Donald Singletary, checking in from New York City.
All right, so get to all the Syracuse University alums throughout the world. Checking out Dr. Rick Wright, Power 106.9 Old School Sunday. On a big bad Sunday afternoon, Dr. Rick Wright live and well in Syracuse here at Power 106.9 Radio. Do it.
The network reminds you that you too may call in to Dr. Rick Wright on Sundays between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check in with the doc at area code 315-428-1069. Don't forget the doc.